Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl, Really Ryan S here, and today we'll be talking about really anime? Yeah, so today we're talking about anime. So today in this video, we're talking about first and foremost, the best to me, my favorites. Everything is subjective to me because it's really Ryan S. There's no one else I can beat, so just know that going forward, everything's really me. Really Ryan-esque, okay? So we're going to discuss my top animes for 2024 that had to come out in the year 2024, that came out this year. So we are only 5 months into this year, so there's a big possibility that we will do another video at the end of 2024 with the best of the full year all encompassing. But the two I'm going to share with you guys today, I already know will make the list year round because I love them both, and I'll be looking forward to their season 2s. They both only have one season out, just came out in 2024. Also in this video, we are going to talk about a couple types of animes. So I want to preface this with, this is not a spoilers video. We will not be talking about the finale of Attack on Titan. We won't be talking about it. Why? Because this is a video where I want people who really aren't into anime to get a glimpse into what it's like, what it's about, what the conundrum and sound is all about. You know, I want this to be, you know, people who typically don't think they should watch anime. I know some girls feel like, you know, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do. I've had tons of female friends ask me about animes. I've given my personal list more times than I can count. So I just want this to be a resource, you know. This is somewhere you can go and find animes that fit what you're into, what you like. We got a couple categories. We have really sad. We have some animes that will probably make you cry. I'm a girl. I like to cry. I'm a Pisces. I cry a lot. And I love a good show that really is a good tearjerker. So we got a few of those for my fellow crybabies. We have really romantic for the lovers. These won't make you cry, but they have a great story where, you know, a relationship is built. We'll get into details later. We have really hungry. We have some animes that are based around food. If you know me, I'm a big foodie. I love to cook, and I love shows about cooking. I get inspiration from them. So we'll talk about those as well. Let's see. We have really protagonistic, which are the shows that have a great protagonist. They're going to be someone you're rooting for non-stop. You never want to see them lose, and 9 times out of 10 they won't. They're the protagonist in the anime, so cheers to that. And then we have, of course, really antagonistic, which have some of the best antagonists. I don't think the villain is always wrong. That is my controversial opinion. Sometimes I think the villain was on to something. So we have some animes about that as well. My last and final topic of this video, which will be something I pulled in some assistance from my Instagram followers. So thank you to you guys who answered my questions of the best and worst animes to live in. So we'll be sharing some of those questions and answers later in the video. And, you know, we'll figure out a better process of getting answers to these questions. But for right now, we're going to do it through my Instagram stories because it worked. I tried to use as many answers as I could, everyone. Some of you guys said the same things, but we're going to hit these. We're going to knock these out. And I'm going to basically tell you guys if they're right or wrong based on what I really think. If that really is a bad anime to live in or not, and vice versa. So let's dive right in with my 2024 best animes thus far. My first 2024 best anime of the year so far is Solo Leveling. Based on the popular web novel, Solo Leveling follows Sun Jin-woo, the weakest hunter, as he becomes the strongest through his adventures in dungeons. This anime adaptation has been highly anticipated and has not disappointed. This is such a journey as far as animes go into like the human psyche of what it is to follow instructions, what you're willing to do when your life is on the line and when you just want to get stronger. And it's a true underdog story, although there's a little more to it. But like I said, this is not a spoilers video. I want you to go watch it. I want you to be kind of confused. I kind of want you to go figure it out yourself. So you can watch that one on Crunchyroll. And I would love to know if you've seen it already. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the season 2? Now, like I said, this is not a spoilers video, but what y'all do in them comments that I am monitoring is your business, okay? I'm just saying. So go to those cautiously for my newbies. Alright, the second anime I want to share for my favorites of 2024 thus far is Delicious in Dungeon on Netflix. This is a Netflix original anime, and I love it. Like, injected in me. This is one of my favorites. As a foodie, as a big back gal, I love this anime. It's still going on. It's still running as I'm making this video. It comes out every Thursday on Netflix. I love the journey that we're going on that show. I love the concept. So it's your typical anime where you're going into a dungeon, you're fighting monsters, you're going down levels deeper to reach the bottom, defeat whoever you gotta defeat, and win whatever you win. It's a simple but kind of recyclable archetype of many animes. They do it in tower form, they do it in arena form, they do it in different ways, but it's basically working through the levels to get to the boss and win whatever you win. But in this one, they're not only fighting the monsters, defeating them, they eat the monsters. They have full recipes, they cook full meals out of the monsters, which are sometimes odd creatures. Some represent things that we can actually recreate at home, which I think is really fun. It gives great recipe inspiration, and it's just fun. It's just fun. It's a good time. It's a good time. It makes you laugh. They eat things you would never expect them to eat. Like, there's so many things that happen in the show that I will not spoil, but it's great for my magic lovers. If you know, the group is comprised of basically a chef, an elf, a puzzle master. You know, it's that kind of anime. It's a band of heroes, and we're gonna defeat the odds, and we're gonna get to the bottom of the dungeon and beat the mad mage. And you know what comes with that, that's also a discussion point in the show, so you gotta watch it to find out. So those are my 2 animes for 2024 that I would love to recommend to you guys. It's new, it's 1 season, you can catch up easily, you won't feel left out, you won't feel like everybody's seen it and you're just late to the game. They're brand new. Tap in. Alright, next we're going into our recommendation section of the video. So whether you're looking for something sad, action-packed, food-like, we got you covered. We got you covered in this video. We're gonna give you what you need. Ryan's got you. Let's kick it off with Really Sad. These are the animes that will, I'm sorry to say it, but make you cry. They will take you on an emotional journey. So if you're someone who likes to feel things like myself, this is for you, Pookie. This is for you. First things first, Your Lie in April. This emotional roller coaster follows a young pianist who has lost his ability to hear music after his mother's death. His life changes when he meets a talented violinist. So this one is a little bit of a love story as well. It's a great tearjerker. There is I don't want to say a twist at the end, but just know if you're like into music, if you like a whole, you know, it's very somber, I'm not gonna lie. And like I said, this is really sad. This is the really sad category. These are not gonna be fun. If you want something that'll make you cry though, highly recommend. Next, A Silent Voice. A story about redemption and forgiveness. A Silent Voice explores the consequences of bullying through the eyes of a former bully seeking redemption. I'm not going to say you can put 2 and 2 together about where it goes, but you know, this is my 13th reason, if you know what I mean. It gets dark. It gets a little sad. Watch with caution. But I also do feel it's relatable. A lot of people have been through bullying. I've been bullied. I know probably everybody has for something. And it really, I just feel like it's one of those animes that really makes you reflect on how you treat other people. And I think sometimes a good little show to remind you of the humanity in everyone. Even if you were a bully and bully someone, this gives you kind of the perspective to say, hey, I can come back from this. I can be a better person. And you can. Never feel like you can't be a better person, because you can. You can always change. Don't call it a rebrand, call it a rebirth, okay? Next, Assassination Classroom. A class of misfit students must assassinate their alien teacher before he destroys the Earth. Despite their mission, they form a deep bond with him. So this anime, it's really the first one that really made me feel like put the knife in and twist it. Because this is not an inherently sad anime. This is an anime where there is a threat. The threat then becomes our friend. And we gotta get rid of our friend because he wants to kill us. Like, and it's not even personal. Like, once again, I'm not spoiling. I'm not gonna tell you why Koro Sensei is doing what he's doing, but you gotta watch. That's a really good one. If you don't want it to be just straight tears nonstop, you know, but you want to get a good story, a great show, get some action, you know, these kids are trying to learn how to kill him. Like, he's strong. So it's like a battle. Like, they're really fighting their teacher, and I think that's, who doesn't want to fight their teacher? Who didn't have a teacher they wanted to fight? I mean, get out some of that repressed childhood rage, okay? Next, Angel Beats. Set in the afterlife, this anime follows a group of deceased students who refuse to move on. They form a battlefront against an enigmatic girl named Angel, questioning the meaning of their existence. This anime really gives you, what's it called when you're not in heaven or hell? Purgatory. So it's basically set in purgatory. And these are students, so these are kids, they obviously died somehow because it's set in the afterlife, but this is a story where they're basically having to confront whatever is stopping them from moving on. So I'm not going to spoil anyone's journey or what causes them to move on, or if they do or don't, or really what happens, but essentially it has a lot of action as well because Angel totes a gun. Like, she's trying to murder them essentially, but they can't really die again because they're already dead. So it's more so like a metaphor of like they're stuck here and they just keep coming back. But it's got action, it's got the feels for sure, and it's also got a great story. If you love a good backstory for people, like I love a good backstory. I want to know everybody's backstory, and I kind of hate when shows don't tell me everybody's backstory. So if you want everybody's backstory, press play on that thing. Also, speaking of press play, press that subscribe button now. I'll wait. Thank you. Really antagonizing. Boo boo. He gonna get you. First and foremost, My Hero Academia, Stain the Hero Killer. One of the most memorable antagonists in this series, aside from All for One. Because he's like the devil in this show. But Stain is one of the seasons. I forgot which one. I'm going to put it on screen because I forgot and I don't have it written down. He is mysterious. He's powerful. And while he's a vigilante that believes in cleansing society of false heroes, he said, you know what? Some of you heroes are scrubs. You shouldn't even call yourself a hero. And if you can't beat me and you die, you shouldn't have been a hero no way. He kind of ate, I fear, because you're not strong. Why are you calling yourself a hero? You can't beat me. You died because you didn't beat me and I'm a villain? Come on. Come on. You gotta love Darwinism. Okay, look it up if you're too young. Survival of the fittest. If you ain't strong enough to be calling yourself a hero, don't call yourself a hero. Real. Argue me if you want. If you think he's mean and terrible, fine, say that. But I said what I said. Okay, next. Next. The villain of all villains, in my opinion. Attack on Titans, Eren Yeager. I said this wasn't a spoilers video. I said it wasn't. And it's also going to be very hard to do these animes that you wouldn't want to live in segment later, but I'll tell you right now, this one's in that for sure. We'll come back to it, but Eren Yeager, the protagonist turned antagonist, so he was our good guy. He wasn't always a baddie. He was our good guy at one point. He becomes more and more ruthless as the series progresses. Complex character adds depth to this action-packed anime. this anime is complete. The final season, part 1 and 2 is out. I've even heard there's a secret extra chapter in a manga. I haven't read it. I've heard about it though. So just know that this one's complete, and I will not spoil it, but I encourage you to watch it. It is so good. And when you think you know what's going on, you don't. You don't. You don't. Gotta love a good guy turn bad. Cause like, what happened? What made that happen? And that has such a shocking group. Next, Death Note, Light Yagami. He is the protagonist of the Death Note. He becomes the series' main antagonist as he descends into madness while trying to rid the world of the criminals using the Death Note. The Death Note is, let me explain to you real quick. It is a book, a little notebook. And you just write someone's first and last name. You have to know it, their real name. And I believe you have to write how that you want them to die. And then you got like 15 seconds or something like that, and then it just happens. And it just happens because you have that book. So there's a lot of drama surrounding this book. There's a thing called a Shinigami. Shout out my guy Ryuk. That assists. I don't want to spoil, but they assist. There are certain powers that you can do trade-ins for to be a better notebook wielder. So this is really like a good strategy anime. He's battling L, who's trying to, you know, expose him, and it's just a good, you know, Tom and Jerry-esque. They're just sucker punching each other. So definitely check that one out, because that's a good one. That's a classic. I would say that one's a classic. I don't know if other people think it's a classic, but I just feel like, what you mean? You haven't seen that Death Note, you know? Like, no shade if you haven't. Just go watch it. Just go. After this video, though. Watch it after this. Don't be rude. Really protagonistic. So these are our good guys. These are the people that you're rooting for. You're cheering for this guy. He is going to win. We want to see you win. Hunter x Hunter, which I will reveal, and I may have said it in my last video or one of my Japan vlogs, and check those out if you haven't seen them. But Hunter x Hunter is my favorite anime. Gon is the best protagonist. He's just a boy who wants his dad, you know? Who could hate on that? You know, no deadbeat dads allowed. Gon Frisis, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. There is 2 E's and 2 S's following a C. So you Frisis, whatever, okay? He is the protagonist. He embarks on a journey to become a hunter and find his missing father. His optimism, determination, and growth make him a beloved character. He is, I don't want to even spoil this one at all, but he has the cutest relationship, the greatest group of friends, especially Killua, his BFF, and they're elite. I mean, they're a great group. So check it out. There's a lot of cool powers involved. There's fights. There's a tournament kind of set up. There's an exam portion because they have to become the hunter. So there's just a lot of layers to this. There's even a season where they're in a video game. They're not even really in the world. They got sucked into a video game and are fighting characters in the video game to get out of the video game. It's crazy. So check that out. Next, The Promised Neverland. Emma. Emma is our protagonist. She is one of the main characters, and she is a beacon of hope in the face of darkness. Her courage, intelligence, and determination to protect her friends makes her an inspiring protagonist. This anime is crazy. This anime is crazy. I said no spoilers, but long story short, and it's available, like you can tell by the flyer, the kids are cattle. They are essentially cattle. I'm not going to tell you what's eating them or trying to eat them or why or none of that. But she don't play around. Emma don't play about her kids, okay? They be trying to eat kids. I'm not going to tell you why. But they be trying to eat kids. And she going to save kids every time. There's other kids that help. It's a group effort, I feel. But Emma, she hold it down. As the oldest big sister, gotta hold it down. Shout out my girl Emma. Next, Demon Slayer. Tanjiro, the kind-hearted and determined protagonist, sets out on a dangerous journey to avenge his family and cure his sister who has been turned into a demon. This is a good one. He is going to the ends of the earth to get this girl right. He carries her around in his back. Like, he is literally carrying her on his back. figuratively, literally, and I just love the group that's with him, Zensu, who fights best when he's asleep. I just think there's so many quirky little things about the characters that make you love this show more and more. Lots of fights, lots of unique abilities from the demons they have to battle. It's a good one if you like violence, okay? There's a lot of blood. You'll see a lot of blood, a lot of gore. Really hungry. First, Food Wars. This was probably my first food anime. This is the one that got me into food anime genre in general. This anime combines food and intense culinary battles, providing a feast for both the eye and the stomach, and with realistic recipes. I actually have a cookbook in my room of recipes from the show. One day I'll cook something from said book. Haven't done that yet. But this is a great food anime. The reactions to some of these dishes is great. The battles between the culinary students, because they're in a cooking school essentially, different challenges to basically see who the best cook is and get in, you know, get their class rank higher, grades higher. It's great. The reactions, the food gasms are, the food looks so good. Don't watch this show if you're hungry. This is a great show to watch while you're eating. We're back again. Delicious in Dungeon. Yeah, I'm talking about it twice. That's how good it is. That's how much I like it. It is now one of my favorite food animes to recommend. As I mentioned earlier, some of the foods are the same kind of as foods you could get in real life. Like a scorpion. What does that look like? Shrimp, crawfish, lobster. I'm sure if you replace that and in the ingredients, you know, with the other root vegetables and things they're going to use, you got yourself dinner. So like, I just love Senshi. I think he's such a quirky character and he cares a lot. He's like, youngins gotta eat. He just be trying to feed them so they're strong and they can fight. Like, come on, Dad. Come on, Daddy. So check that one out. Next, campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill. This anime follows a chef who finds himself transported into a fantasy world. Using his cooking skills, he navigates this new world one meal at a time. This anime is a little more rustic as far as cooking animes go. We're cooking outside. We're cooking right out of nature. Like, it's a little more, like, I'm not a camping gal. I don't really go camping, but it's like, if you do go camping, I really think you could probably work with some of these recipes and have a great time cooking in the great outdoors. Like, so if cooking's your thing, if camping's your thing, just check out this one. I think it's super cute. It's just, once again, not something you watch when you're hungry, because you're gonna get hungry. So you're gonna have a snack. Really romantic. This is for the lovers. First, Sword Art Online. This follows the love story of Asana and Kurtiro as they navigate through the virtual world of Sword Art Online and beyond. Something also you'll see in anime if you don't watch a lot of anime. There are quite a few animes where you're in a game. You're getting sucked into a game, you're putting on a headset or something, you're being transported into a game for all intents and purposes, stuck there until you win. This is one of those, but it's that and there's a love story in it. I think it's the cutest thing ever. I think it is it's just a cute portion. Honestly, there's like, I watched this one a long time ago, but I know there's a portion where they just stop playing the game altogether and just go live in a cabin in the woods together and are just happy and in love. And I'm just like, this is the cutest anime ever. So check that one out for sure, okay? Because it's quite the journey. It's fun in general, just seeing them play the game and learning the rules of the game and watching them acquire things and do spells to get out of trouble. And there's different groups and alliances around the map in the game, so it's a whole thing. But I am putting this under the lovers category because it is a prevalent topic within the show, which I like. Toradora. Fierce in appearance but gentle at heart, Yuji forms an unlikely friendship with Taiga, a tiny girl with a sharp tongue and a tough attitude. Together, they try to help each confess their love to their crushes. This anime is so cute. Like, this is the cutest enemies to lovers trope. Like, she is so spicy. She reminds me so much of myself, because she's really sensitive, but she's also very like, you know, I'll get you. But she really don't mean no harm. She's really a sweetheart. And the guy character, Taiga and Dragon is essentially the characters in the show, is really just kind. He's patient. He's just everything you would want. He's literally the dream. So, you know, there's, as I mentioned, they're empowering each other to confess their crushes to their crushes, two separate people. But obviously, as this is in the really romantic category, I'm gonna just let you assume what happens in that mission to set each other up with other people. If you've ever seen a rom-com, you know where it's going. It's time for the best and worst animes to live in. We're gonna start off with the best animes to live in. Let's start off on a lighter note because I want to end my video with death and despair. So first, Pokemon. Because food, the first best anime to live in. I agree. I think this gets a ding for me. I think food is a completely valid reason to live in an anime. Pokemon itself, I think it's chill. I don't think people really die. I don't think there's any real danger. I think even amongst the other Pokemon, it's pretty, you know, you get whooped and you go back in your ball and you rest and you come back out recharged. You're not dead. You're not gone. So I think it's a good anime to live in. And apparently they have good food, so love that. Next, Nowhere. All of them are sugar honey iced tea, but if I had to pick a place where I won't die, then Blue Lock. Safe choice. Any sports anime, I don't watch them. Girly girl. But I know there's a few. I know there's a volleyball one. I know there's a basketball one. This one appears to be soccer. So any sports anime, no death and despair there. Safe option. Kudos. Fire Force. Everybody has a unique relationship with pyrotechnic abilities. Disagree. I think fire is too hot, too dangerous, getting burned. The risk of getting burnt is higher there. Pyrotechnics tend to fail. I'm not living in the Fire Forest. I'm not living there. No, thank you. That would definitely not be one of my best places to live. No. Hunter x Hunter. And I hope and pray I got talent with Nin. If you haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, Nin is basically your type of ability. Like I said, this is my favorite anime, so I obviously agree. There are many different types of Nin you could get. Transmuter, you know, I forgot all off the top of my head, but it kind of affects what kind of abilities you're able to do. If you're like a manipulator, you can manipulate elements. Transmuter, you can transmute things. There's 5, I believe. So I fully agree. I would like to live here. And also, just to note, the Hunter x Hunter world, it's not in like complete chaos and disarray. Like, the hunters are doing their job, but like, you could just also be a normal person living in this world and be fairly safe, I feel, for the most part. JoJo, because it's so dramatic. I will agree with JoJo, only because I like the fashion. I love how flamboyant, how camp it is, and it's very slay. I feel like that's like living in an episode of Project Runway, so we will agree with JoJo's Bizarre Circus. Dragon Ball Z, because just the chance to be a Saiyan is too much to pass up. I don't know about this one. A lot of violence, a lot of death. I don't know if the risk to, you know, the chance to become Saiyan is enough for me. So I'm going to have to disagree with this one. And you will see this one again in our worst places to live as well. So, spoiler alert. My Hero. I think this one is very... I thought about this one. I thought about My Hero because it's kind of like... Yes, I would love superpowers. I would love to get a little power. I don't even care if it's like one of the best ones. I just get a power. Or if I don't get a power, I'm just protected. And it's a lower chance that you don't get a power. So I think anywhere where you have a higher chance of getting a power is obviously better. But I don't know. Villains, you know? Anywhere villains is kind of like... Are we okay? And I'm not completely caught up with that show. I think I'm not on this current season. So I don't know where we are with the villains. So I will I would very hesitantly say yes, just because I would love to have superpowers. Um, and I believe the whole world isn't in disarray. I think it's just certain areas. So don't hold me to it if something changed in the new season. But I will agree with this one for now. Charlotte, it's a win-win. If I get powers, I get saved. And if I don't have powers, I get saved. I haven't seen Charlotte. I definitely want to check it out. I just did a little bit of research, just looking up, this one for this certain prompt. But I think there's a completely valid reason. If you, any win-win situation, any planet where I get saved no matter what, sign me up, So, Charlotte, we approve. Kakeguri, because FanDuel may bang there. I have to agree. This anime, if you haven't seen it, it's a Netflix anime. Essentially about gambling school. It's a school based where they play different games to gamble, and it's really cool. So FanDuel would absolutely bang here. It would be like a life or death scenario, because that's kind of how intense this show is. So it's very intense, but it's not as actiony, but it's amazing. So I highly recommend this one also. And now for the worst animes to live in. Dr. Stone, dog. I would KMS LMAO. Agree. 100% agree. As someone who's not a math nor a science girly, I can write you the best essay ever. Do not put me in an abandoned world, essentially, where I have to basically start from scratch. That anime is basically what's that game where you're basically planting a farm and you're growing everything yourself? It started he's doing that plus more. He's like a scientist. He's Dr. Stone, so he's a doctor. He's smart somehow, professor level, but he essentially is going to figure everything out from scratch, how to get water, food, etc. Hell's Paradise. Agree. That is a scary place to live. Also because as far as that show's going so far, we don't really exactly even know what's going on in said island. This is a great one to watch. You likely will probably not be a character on the island, but keep in mind that this exists, and I'm going to just, for the sake of this question, you're someone who's on the island. So, pass. Too easy to die. The bugs are trying to kill you. The trees are trying to kill you. The air will kill you. I agree 100%. Worst anime to live in. Jujutsu Kaisen, because demons eating people is wild. 100% agree. It's spooky wooky in that anime. No one is living. Our strongest people are missing. You could get sucked into anybody's domain expansion at any given moment. So, absolutely, it's not even fair. You're getting wiped out at unreal levels. Definitely agree. Parasite would be terrible if you get infected by one of those aliens. Agree. Don't want to look like that. Don't want to look like that. Can't imagine that your face morphing like that would be comfortable. And I believe by watching the new Netflix Parasite, The Gray, it hurts a lot from what I've seen. It's going up in you and taking over your body, and sometimes you don't even survive the parasite process. So absolutely agree, would not want to live in that. I don't want to live anywhere where that's a chance of happening. I don't watch much anime, but Seven Deadly Sins. I hope you watch this video and watch some anime. But I have to disagree. Seven Deadly Sins, I feel like it's pretty safe, and all the characters are hot. Bon, hot. Diane, gorgeous. I want to go drink at the Boar's Hat. There's so many things in that show that I would love to do, experience, meet, and can't. So I have to say I disagree. I would live there. Let me know if you disagree, but I would. Attack on Titan. Yeah, this is the obvious one. I got this one a million times as far as answers from people. And I told you guys this was not a spoilers video, but it don't end well for nobody. So I will leave it at that, and I agree. I agree. Not going there. Don't want any parts. DBZ, because the world has blown up already. Fair. Agree? Because the world's not here. So what is there to live for? What is there to live for? What is there to do if there is no planet? Kablow. Agree. Again, also, Dragon Ball Z. All the strongest people are aliens. Another valid reason to not want to live there. The strongest people are going to kill me? Pass. Pass. Demon Slayer. Because who trying to get killed by Michael Jackson? The resemblance is uncanny. I agree. And Muzan would absolutely murk you. So 100% agree. Not an anime I would live in. They'll take your whole family out like that. Again, Demon Slayer universe is a toll. Literally everybody be getting ran through. I'm trying to tell you, these demons get down. They do not play. They will take you out. Like, shocker that Nezuko is still with us, because the rest of his family, done for, donezo. Blood Sea or Devilman Crybaby, I could easily die in that world for no reason. I haven't seen Blood Sea, but I definitely would not live here based on the couple clips I've seen. Don't look like I'm a win there. So, yeah, I will agree with that for sure. Devilman Crybaby, on the other hand, I have to disagree. I don't know. And it's chaotic. I shouldn't want to live there, but it looks kind of fun. You can't tell me you've seen the party scenes in this show and not been like, okay, but it was probably a vibe before the monster showed up and killed everybody. Like, no risk, no reward. One Piece, because that's where the minority hunter resides. I refuse to commit to watching all of One Piece, but I am familiar with the characters and the jokes about the show. So he is talking about Zoro, who has a tendency to kill mostly characters with darker complexions. I'm still gonna disagree, because I'm sure being like a pirate or something, mind you, I haven't watched the show, but that'll probably be fun. So I know people love One Piece, so I'm not gonna slander the show. So I'll disagree. I would imagine One Piece would be fun to live in. And that's all we have as far as answers. So thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Drop me in the comments what other topics maybe we should cover. And let's get real about it. So I'll see you next time.